Good morning, my favorite essential students. I'm pretending right now that it is 12:55. I'm still setting up my room and you guys are trying to sneak in a little early, and then I'm remembering the smell, the sweet aroma of outside and playground and sweat. So I'm trying to remember all those wonderful things so that I can pretend that we were right in my classroom together. And I'm telling you guys, ew, you stink. Ew, you guys have been outside. But I love each and every one of you. So today we're gonna do this a little different. You're all at home and I'm at home. Look, I have my coffee and I wore my essentials shirt just for you because we are gonna go over 3 things today. We're going to review our structures, and then we are going to introduce a new structure, but you guys already know it. You'll be surprised. We're going to review conjugations, and then I'm going to introduce a brand new thing called verbals. Say what? What's a verbal? Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, now let's review our structures real quick. So that, remember, how many are there? There's 4. Okay, now if you're in my class, we like to build using jingle blocks our structures, and we call them structure street. We build little houses so we can remember. So right now, look at your mom or look at your sibling and tell them the first structure on chart A. And if you have jingle blocks, then you can build it. So what's the first structure? It's simple. So why does our structure look like this? Because it has a subject and a verb, and it can stand all by itself. It makes complete sense. So an example of that is, I like cake, right? So what's my subject? I. What's my verb? Like. Like what? Cake. So it stands all by itself. It makes complete sense. It doesn't need help from anyone else. So that's our first structure. Now what's our second one? Simple, compound, right. So a compound sentence, if we build it, looks like this. Now, why does it look like that? What's that thing in the middle of a compound sentence that connects an independent clause and another independent clause? Look at your mom or look at your sibling and tell them, what is that thing that connects, that is a signal that this is a compound sentence? It's a conjunction. That's right. So when we build a compound structure, it looks like one simple sentence and another simple sentence connected by a coordinating conjunction. Yeah, a coordinating conjunction. So it would be like, I like cake and I like coffee. That's right. Okay, now, what would be our next structure? So we have simple, compound, and what is that? Complex. So this little guy, it can't stand up by itself. Like if I leaned it over, it's gonna fall down, right? It has to have our simple sentence or our independent clause with it because it doesn't make sense all by itself. So Shermy, who likes coffee, is your essentials tutor, right? So who likes coffee, it doesn't make sense outside of the independent clause, right? It has to have that independent clause to make sense because you don't understand, well, who likes coffee? Well, who likes coffee? We don't know who we're talking about. We need Shermy is your essentials tutor. We need that independent clause to make sense. Okay, now the one that we're gonna work on today, you already know it, we just need to put it together. Okay, so we're going, the last structure, look at your mom because you already memorized it already. Tell me what the 4th structure is. Compound, right? Compound. So it's 2 independent clauses connected with a coordinating conjunction, and it has a subordinate clause that goes with it. So it's a compound complex sentence. So it would be like, Shermy, or let's see, Shermy, who likes coffee, is your essentials tutor, and she likes cake, right? So it's 2 independent clauses, 2 clauses that can stand by themselves, connected with a conjunction, a fanboy, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. And then it has a little subordinating clause, like a who, which clause, or an adverbial clause, or an adjectival clause that's connected right there. All right, now let's practice coming up with our own compound sentences. So first, what do we need? We need an independent clause. So let's start with the leaves fall. Now, we have our subject. What are we talking about? The leaves. What is being said about leaves? They fall. S-V-I. Now, so I have one independent clause. Now, what do I need to connect another independent clause? A conjunction. So these are your coordinating conjunctions, fanboys. So let's pick a fanboy. You can pick whatever you want. Let's see. I'm gonna pick and, because that's pretty easy. So let's pick and what? So now I need another independent clause, another simple sentence. So you make yours. The leaves fall and what? So you have to have a subject and a verb, and it has to make sense. And what did you get? I put the leaves fall and they are pretty. There you go. Okay, so now pause this video and I want you to make compound sentences with your mom, all right? Or your sibling, whoever's sitting beside you. Come up and see what types of compound sentences that you can make. Are you done? Good, I'm so proud of you. Okay, now let's add a complex sentence. So we're gonna start with our independent clause. The leaves fall. Okay. Now, where do we want to put our subordinate clause? So remember, this can be a who, which clause. It could be a because clause. It could be a when, while, where, as, since, if, although clause. Okay? You can put those anywhere because those are subordinate clauses and they're not going to be able to stand by themselves. So let's see. The leaves which are pretty fall. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do mine. You can do yours wherever you want. The leaves which are pretty fall, right? Okay, so now use that sentence, the leaves fall, pause this video, and practice coming up with a complex sentence. Okay, good job. I'm so proud of you. Now, you already have a complex sentence. You already came up with compound sentences. Let's put that together. The leaves fall, the leaves, which are pretty, fall. Now we need a what? A conjunction. And they look beautiful. I don't know, I made that up, okay? So the leaves fall, or the leaves, which are pretty, fall, complex, and they look beautiful, independent clause. We put it all together, now you have a compound complex. Give yourself a round of applause because you guys just did. You learned the fourth and final structure of all the structures in chart A. Congratulations. Okay, go ahead and get out chart, your conjunction chart. I think it's chart H. And let's go over those real quick. Most of us are familiar with our conjunction chart. We've used it several times throughout this year. But what I want you to start, if you haven't already, so this is mainly for your first years, I want you to really start memorizing what our definitions are and then what the coordinating conjunctions are. So tell me, somebody right now, you can look on your chart if you need to, what is a coordinating conjunction? Okay, it connects grammatically equal words or groups of words like compound subjects, compound verbs, or compound sentences, like your fanboys. Okay, remember that. That's an easy way. Fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. Those are coordinating conjunctions. So don't think they only connect independent clauses, because they can connect compound subjects. So Sheremy and Ava are doing essentials today. Or Dylan and James like baseball. Let's see, Hannah and Olivia are best friends. Okay, so those are compound subjects. Now, it could also be a compound verb. So it could be Sheremy sings songs and plays the piano. Well, I don't do that. But it could be Sheremy likes coffee and chocolate. So there you go. Okay? Now, so those are coordinating conjunctions. Now, subordinating conjunctions. You guys are familiar with these because we use them a lot in our writing. They are the ww.asia.be clause. Okay, so when, while, where, as, since, if, although, whereas, unless, and because. All right, so those are the most common subordinating clause or conjunctions, excuse me. But if you look right down here, there's more that we still need to be familiar with. So it would be after, as if, as long. Okay, so it would be we play when we are young. So when we are young, when is our subordinating conjunction that's connecting the independent clause, we play, to our subordinating clause, we are young, when we are young, okay? Now remember, when you have a subordinating clause or a subordinating conjunction, it is a red flag, red, like big alarms that should go off in your head and say, oh, that's a subordinating conjunction. So that means this is going to introduce an adverbial subordinate clause. So when you see that, you automatically know this is a complex sentence, okay? All right, so those are, now, we also have your correlative. I hope I said that right. These are conjunctions that are going to be best friends, and they'll always go together. You'll never see them apart. So it's either or, neither nor, both and, whether or, not only, but also, or not but. So it would be like either Tom or Sue. Neither Tom nor Sue, both Tom or Sue, whether Tom or Sue, not only Tom, but only Sue, or but also Sue, and not Tom, but Sue, okay? Then we have relative pronouns. You should be familiar with those already if you know your pronouns, okay? So those introduce adjectival subordinate clauses and relate them to a word they modify. They are used in a complex sentence. So the boy who cried wolf was not being truthful. Who are we talking about? The boy. So we're describing the boy, so that's an adjectival because the boy is a noun, all right? And then you have conjunctive adverbs. So right there, so go over those. And those of you that are a second or third year student, you can pause this video and now work on combining or coming up with complex or compound complex sentences that use subordinating or correlative or even relative pronouns to make those structures. Are you ready for a brand new fun word? It's called verbals, all right? Now, verbals are words that have their verbiness. Okay, so moms, if you have that handout that I uploaded yesterday, go ahead and get that out for your student. It's gonna look like this. It says verbals wear many hats. Now, kids, have you ever heard that expression maybe your mom has said or an adult has said that says, oh, she wears a lot of hats? Now, it doesn't mean that she wears all these different hats at one time, does it? It's not talking about a specific, like an actual hat. It's talking about the jobs that that person may do. So for instance, I'm a mom. So on my mom days, I may wear my mom hat, right? So that means I'm taking care of my kids, I'm feeding everybody, I'm making sure that everybody is well, and I'm loving on my kids, okay? Now, I don't really typically wear this hat all the time when I'm being a mom, right? But it's just an expression. Pretend this is my mom hat. Now, I may also wear my friend hat. So I may go out with my girlfriends and maybe we go to the pool or we go shopping, okay? I'm just being a friend that day. That's my job for the day, is to be a friend and have fun with my girlfriends. But then I also, let me get my hat. I also have a job. So I have to go to work. So I have to put on my work hat and I go to the boutique and I work, or I go to a jewelry show and I sell jewelry. So for me, I have at least 3 different hats that I wear. So that means I do 3 different jobs throughout the day. Now, of course, we know that we do a lot more than that, but that's just an example. And for you, you may have a son hat or a daughter hat. Maybe you're the child hat, so you have to be respectful and do your chores for your parents. But you're also a student hat, so you get to put on your student hat and you get to go to school. Well, not right now, but we get to go learn and we get to go and learn all the things. Right now you get to go to your living room and watch your tutors. And then maybe you're the friend hat, or you're the sports team hat. You're on a sports team. We have all these different jobs where verbals do the exact same thing. Verbals have 3 hats. So look at your chart, okay? Verbals, they play the role of an infinitive, a gerund, or a participle. Now, verbals are words that have their verbiness, okay? So they're words that we typically think, that's a verb, but they aren't acting in that sentence as a verb. They're acting maybe as a noun or an adjective or an adverb. So they're playing different roles than a verb, okay? So today we're going to focus on an infinitive. Now remember, I think this was from cycle 1 maybe, or maybe cycle 3. It was from one of our cycles. What is an infinitive? An infinitive is 2, not the number 2, but T-O, 2 plus a verb. So you see right there, 2 plus a verb. Used as a what? A noun, an adjective, or an adverb. An infinitive is 2 plus a verb, used as a noun, adjective, or adverb. Okay, so there you go. That's an infinitive. So to what? To, and then give me a verb. Dance. To dance is my desire. So what is my desire? To dance. So to dance is acting as my what? My subject noun. Oh my gosh. So to dance, that whole thing is my noun. Okay, let's practice a little bit more. So I have the sentence. I hope you can read that. It's probably backwards. I want to eat cookies. All right, what's the first thing that we say? What is the sentence about? Or who is the sentence talking about? Who are we talking about? I. So I is my subject noun. Now, what is being said about I? I want. Okay? Now, I want what? What do I want? Do you see something right here? To eat cookies. So this whole thing, I want to what? Or I want what? I want to eat cookies. To eat is our infinitive, and this whole thing is going to be, it's called an infinitive phrase direct object. So here's your infinitive, and cookies is your phrase. Oh, that's so much. But just remember, when you see to plus a verb, but it's not acting as a verb, it's acting as something else, that's an infinitive. All right, so moms, if you want to look in on week 21, and it's probably around page 326, depending on which, what am I trying to say? Which guide that you have, then you can look and we'll go over some different examples. So let's look at to dance is fun. All right. So what's the first question that we ask ourselves? Do you have, let me grab my thing. Do you have your little handout? So the first question is, who or what is the sentence about? What are we talking about? Okay, let's ask this question. What is fun? To dance. So to plus a verb, but it's used as a noun, adjective, or an adverb. That's an infinitive. And what role in my sentence is it playing? A subject noun. So to dance, what is being said about to dance? It is what? Fun. Predicate adjective, right? Because you have a linking verb. All right, so don't think that's a direct object, because it's not. All right, how about I love to dance? Okay, what's the first question that we ask ourselves? Who or what is the sentence about? I, subject noun. What's being said about I love. I love, we'll just skip down. I love what? To dance. Now, can to dance replace I? No. Can it describe I? No. So this makes love a verb, transitive, and this are, that's right, direct object. So now to dance, to plus a verb used as a noun. So our noun is acting as a direct object. So our infinitive is the direct object. So this whole thing would be one. Now, Jesus is easy to love. I put this kind of together. So Jesus, so who or what is the sentence about? Jesus, okay, subject noun. What is being said about Jesus? Jesus is, we know this is a linking verb, so we know that Jesus is what? Easy. Now, can easy describe Jesus or rename Jesus? No. Can it describe Jesus? Yes. So that's a predicate adjective. Now, easy to love. What is to love? It's describing easy, right? Yes. It modifies the word easy. So to love is now an adjective. Oh my goodness, isn't that so crazy? So remember, an infinitive is to plus a verb used as a noun, adjective, or adverb, all right? So now when we diagram an infinitive, we diagram it a little bit different. So it would be, let's do this one. To dance is fun. Okay, so we know that this is a subject, verb, linking, predicate, adjective. So we know that our pattern would look like this, right? It would be our subject, verb, but since we have a predicate adjective, it would be like this, okay? Now, because we have an infinitive here, it's gonna go on stilts. So it's gonna look like this. Do you see it's like a little man, like how we have a bottom of a hangman? And then we put it on to dance is fun, right? So we have to dance on the stilts. So that's how you diagram your sentence. All right, now stay tuned, get out your analytical task sheet, and let's go over real quick how to diagram a compound complex sentence. Okay, are you guys ready to start diagramming? This is going to be sentence number 1 in week 21. So say hi to Ava. Hi. Okay, Ava's gonna help me out today. All right, so everybody get out your guide and your analytical task sheet, and I want you to write down the first sentence. It's Jesus who watches him wept, for he loves to find lost sheep. All right, now I will tell you this is a compound complex sentence. All right, so first we want to look at the first independent clause. All right, so we're going to focus on this part. Jesus who watches him wept. Okay, Ava, tell me the main independent clause.
Jesus wept.
Jesus wept. So that's what we want to focus on first. All right, so get out your question confirmation and let's ask the first question. Ava, who or what is the sentence about?
Jesus.
All right. Subject, noun. What is being said about Jesus?
Wept.
Okay, so that's a what?
Verb intransitive.
Verb intransitive because Jesus isn't wept or weeping to anything else, right? He just wept. He stopped. All right, now let's focus on our subordinate clause. Okay, Ava, who or what is the sentence about?
Who?
All right. Subject, pronoun. What is being said about who?
Watches.
Okay. Watches who or what?
Him.
Okay, can him describe who?
No.
Can it replace who?
No.
So this would be a what?
Direct object.
Right, because if it doesn't answer any of those, it's automatically a direct object, making our verb a verb transitive. Okay, whew, we did the first one. All right, we got our complex out of the way. Now let's focus on he loves to find lost sheep. Now this is a little tricky. Make sure it has something in there that we talked about earlier. Okay, so let's go. Ava, who or what is the sentence about? He. Subject, pronoun. What is being said about he? Loves. Now he loves what?
To find lost sheep.
To find lost sheep. All right, do you remember what to plus a verb is? That's right, it's an infinitive, okay? Now this whole thing is going to be an infinitive phrase. So Ava, I want you to label this whole thing like that, a direct object. So this entire thing is a direct object. Crazy, isn't it? Okay, now Ava, we have one word left. What connects an independent clause to another independent clause?
A conjunction.
A conjunction. So remember, that's a coordinating conjunction and it's a fanboy. Okay, now I wrote down the the pattern of what your sentence will look like. So we're gonna focus, and moms, this is in your guide on week 21, first, number 1. Okay, so we're gonna focus on our first independent clause. Ava, put your subject here and your verb there.
Jesus wept.
Okay, so we have Jesus wept. Now we still have a subordinate clause, so we're gonna put ... all the way down here. So we're gonna put our subject here, Ava, up here. We're looking at this one. So fill that in.
Okay. Who?
There you go. Okay, main clause, subordinate clause, all down here. Now we have a word that connects these two together. So what is that?
A conjunction.
Okay, so put your conjunction for. All right. Now let's focus on he loves to find lost sheep. So what's our subject?
He.
Okay, so put your subject there. All right, now let me see this. When we have an infinitive, remember, we're going to put it on stilts. So I'm going to take a picture of this here in just a second so you can see a little bit better. But your to will go right here. Your find is your infinitive. To find sheep. And what kind of sheep? Lost. So that's an adjective, so you'll put your lost right there. And that's how you diagram a compound, complex sentence with an infinitive. You guys should feel really, really smart. Okay. We just finished our very first Essentials virtual day. So how fun was that? I hope that it was informative for you. I hope that you guys learned some things and that you can take into practice this week. What I want you to work on this week is going over a compound complex structure, diagramming those, getting more familiar with the infinitive of verbal. Remember, a verbal is a word that still has its verbiness, but it's used as a noun or an adjective or an adverb. Okay, so we went over infinitives today. Next week, Miss Dana is going to teach you about a gerund. How exciting is that? And so this week, work on your analytical task sheets. First years, just focus on questions or sentences 1 through 3. If you're a second or third year, focus on sentences 4 and 5 and make sure that you're getting in your quid it quo. Mamas, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to message me. I will be available today between 1 and 3 on Tuesdays during our normal essentials classes. So I'll be available to answer any of your questions then. But you can message me other than that, but just I may be in the middle of things, so just give me some time if I don't get back to you on that. All right, guys, have a great day. Oh, also, if you're in my class, message me how many stars you need for your chart, how many, if you got any analytical task sheets done or your charts done this week. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. And mamas, we can do this. This really isn't much different than our routine. I do miss seeing your faces. So maybe we need to have a Zoom meeting soon so that we can have coffee. Anyways, guys, have a great Tuesday, and I can't wait to see you guys again.